What about ETH? So, Chris, you knew I was going to do this to you, right? You knew that this was coming. So let's do it. I mean, we've got researchers here. They're very smart people. They found this. They would find anything. They'll find everything.
Yeah, sure.
I personally do not believe in Ethereum 2.0 because it doesn't make much sense. But Ethereum needs to maintain people to keep telling them that it's something in the future, because right now it doesn't work. It does not work at all. You have to pay like $100 to make one trade. It's not possible, right?
Okay, so that was you, if I'm not mistaken, that was about a year ago. It was July 23rd, 2021. So almost a year ago, almost a couple of months away from a year. Has your view on ETH changed, especially now that there is a date for the merge? Well, not really a date, but a period for the merge. They're talking about June 2022, that they're going to merge the POS chain and the proof of work chain. Has your view on ETH 2.0 changed?
Do you think it will not fork? And if it will fork, is ETH 0.2 a new coin? And if it's a new coin, what's the difference between ETH 0.2 and Solana and Avalanche and all the new coins that came out since 2018, 19, 20?
But it's not a fork, it's a merge.
That's
so I think,
will it fork? Because it could fork. It's all about consensus. Now,
wow.
the question comes down to, people want to maintain the value of ETH. And the transactional speed only matters if the transactions are small. If I trade $10 million, I don't care about $100. Do we need ETH to play games? Because how important is it that if let's say we play Call of Duty, and I think many people play Call of Duty. So you see me and somebody else, we're like kind of clicking at the same time, we shoot each other, we put them on the blockchain. Then we have transactional viability to see who shot who first. What is the value of that transaction? It's very low. Because, maybe we need another blockchain for transparency, but what we need ETH for or Bitcoin for could be global trade between countries. What we need ETH for is DeFi, like big stuff. And we have Solana, we have Avalanche, we have other things. And my statement before saying they need people to believe in the future of ETH is because they're constantly being attacked by new blockchains. So they need to tell people something, but realistically speaking, maybe it's not a good thing that ETH gets cheaper, because the main value of ETH is people buying $100 of ETH, which is burnt. I bet all of us have a bunch of different wallets which have some ETH. That's a beautiful burning mechanism. You take that away, it's not good for ETH. And the ones which have to make the decision to go to POS are the miners. So basically we are going to give away all our power to the whales, because just because you have a lot of ETH doesn't mean you can vote. You need to spend your ETH to buy mining equipment. So let's see, it hasn't happened so far.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying that even though there is a merge of the chain that's planned from proof of work to proof of stake, you're saying that there's a risk that we will have a fork and people will continue to mine the original Ethereum chain on proof of work? And that
if you have $50 million in DeFi, you want to be on proof of work or proof of stake? Because most people agree, I think we can agree that proof of work is more secure. That's why it's more expensive. And if you want to play a game, then go to Solana. But if you want to do 10 billion, 100 billion in DeFi, I would prefer having it's great, ETH is great. It's a bit expensive, but Bitcoin is super slow. It's like 1 hour. Man, we can't use that. But I don't mind paying $10, $100 to make $100,000 trade. It's a great product right now.
So you think that there could be a fork and we'll end up with two chains. We'll end up with the proof of work chain and the proof of stake chain.
I believe that's possible, yes.
Wow. Okay, James, what do you think?
I don't think so. Well, there's three things I like about Ethereum. One, it's the incumbent. It's the 800-pound gorilla. Number two, everything is built on Ethereum. Like 70, 80% of all DeFi is built. Number three, the Ronin Axie Infinity guys have to buy $600 million worth of it right now. And I think that's why it's spiking. I think they said, oh, we better get in while it's still cheap. And of course, going deflationary. But I plan on exiting ETH once it hits a certain target and moving to better chains until I get proven wrong. I like many things about it, but I think there's better, cheaper, faster stuff out there.
So are you telling me that when I take my money out of Pac-Man, I should not put money into ETH? You don't think it's a smart move putting money?
It is between certain layers. So think about like a $3,000 ETH. Yeah, I wouldn't buy ETH personally unless it's under $2,400. That's kind of my threshold because I like things that double or triple. And then I have my price projections for ETH where I think it's going to go this year, and that's how I play. But at this level now, 3,500, I would not buy.
What is your price projection? And I know your channel, by the way, if you're not on the James's channel, we'll put a link, or there is already a link down below. Go there because it is one of my go-to channels. So to be honest, my go-to channels for deep dives are probably Coin Bureau, but my go-to channels for anything that requires models and modeling is to go to James's channel. And then my go-to for long-form interviews and good charting is Scott's channel. So that's how I play and that's where my friends come from. So what are your price targets? What are your price targets on ETH, James? Just give us an idea and maybe point us towards a video that you're making or made where we can go and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, so one of the things I built a lot of price models, which are based on, I take traditional world valuation models and compare them back into discounted cash flow models like everybody else does. And for ETH, it's difficult because right now their total TVL and activities is just being nibbled away by all these other layer ones. And that's concerning to me. Number two, the layer two nibbling away at all of the activity is kind of strange. And what our friend said exactly about institutions, I think 76% of all transactions on Ethereum today are institutional anyway. And they don't care about that $100 gas fee. So it is tricky, but definitely this thing is going to between 6,000 and maybe 8,900 again before Christmas of this year is where I see ETH going. But a lot of that, the problem is a lot of that hinges on what they don't call ETH 2.0 anymore. And the launch of that, the merge. And I personally, the way the concentrations are with whales, I don't really like the idea of the POS merge because it is very much like a Cantillon effect that we see in many other industries that we don't like. So just my take.
Okay, Scott, what do you think? First of all, do you think that what Chris said about a two-chain solution or two-chain outcome is a reality or a possibility?
That'd be really forked up. I hope they don't fork us, so to speak. Hit get forked. No, I don't. I mean, anything's a possibility, and you'd be ridiculous not to admit that there's a chance of something. But I think that that's a very low-level chance that something like that happens, but definitely worth having on your radar. Listen, I'm a huge Ethereum bull. I'm not particularly concerned about the merge. I'd be surprised if we're not at 10,000, by the end of the year with much higher targets down the road. And I can tell you, I'll steal it from someone else. I've had two people on my podcast that have used Manhattan as an example for coins. First, it was Saylor who made the point that Bitcoin was digital real estate in Manhattan, which kind of went viral after that. Then I had Asib Qureshi from Dragonfly come on. Unknowingly, that Saylor had said Ethereum is Manhattan, and all these other chains are the smaller cities in America, right? Solana can be Denver, and San Francisco can be Avalanche or whatever. There's a reason, as Chris said, that people are willing to go pay the fees to live in Manhattan, right? It's where the action is. And that, to his point, it's the network effect. And when I said, isn't Bitcoin Manhattan, the granite, the building? He said, nobody gives a shit about Manhattan if nobody lives there. The granite's worth nothing if everybody moves out, right? And that was his point about Ethereum, was that you have the network effect. It's where everybody wants to be. As the other guests have said, it's where people are building. It's where DeFi is at. It's where the TVL is. I don't see any of that changing. And I think institutions will continue to invest in and use Ethereum. And they don't give a shit if you have to pay $500 for a transaction. And by the way, it's been like $5 or $9 of late anyways to do something on Ethereum. That was a very sort of flash in the pan thing when we were paying that level of fees. But I think that things will change, and I think that nobody's going to have a problem paying it.
I'm still a big ETH bull.
Yeah.
Right. I just think that ETH 2.0 is a big risk to ETH.
You can't discount the fact that there is a risk. I mean, this is arguably the hugest fundamental change we've ever seen in crypto, right? I mean, for anything this big. So you have to be aware that there's a risk that it goes wrong. I just have confidence that won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a risk that everything goes wrong. I mean, we saw the DDoS attacks on Solana, and there's a risk that everything goes wrong. I think with Ethereum, there's much more at stake because the plane is full of people and full of passengers and full of money and full of VCs. I mean, I don't mind if the VCs go down with the plane, but I mean, if everybody else, I hope, stays safe. If you like this clip, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification. You'll be notified every time that we drop content on this channel. This channel is dedicated to people just like you who are time-starved and need a microdose of crypto content.